We begin week 10 of the season. Dartmouth, Harvard, finish of the day to start college football final.
Takes the snap. He's quickly got to throw it. Rolling to his right. He's got to get rid of it, and he's going to keep it going. Now he's going to throw it deep, and he heaves it down the field. Jump ball, deflected. Good! Good! Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown, Dartmouth! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! I don't believe it! Dartmouth wins it on a Hail Mary! Unbelievable! Unreal! The miracle in Cambridge!
The Dartmouth celebrating here at Harvard Stadium, their
9-6, the
first
final.
win.
Dartmouth, how do you do November
Why you smack it down?
and
Aaron?
college?
Smack it down.
Would you not be negative
You go
about
up
the
with
good
one-
finish?
what is that? Come on.
Here I am about
Dartmouth
to
now
introduce
7-0.
November college football to set up Dartmouth, Princeton, Yankee Stadium next week undefeated.
I love it.
And
Can we
you're
go
being,
there?
You're being a snob on me. No, not
Never
the
let's go
budget.
there.
I've already been told we
Well,
can't.
there's a coaching moment everywhere, is what
All
Joey's
right,
trying to
so
say.
here's what I'm here to do. I'm here to be happy about November, and I'm here to set up the fact that we had a big one in the SEC East. Oh, that's Jesse, Joey, and I'm Matt. It's college football final presented by Mazda. Your negativity threw me off. Now
Let's get
to
to work.
Florida, Georgia, de facto SEC East championship game. Winner of this matchup has gone on to win the SEC East 14 times in the last 21 seasons. 4th and inches early on.
We're going to run the ball, obviously.
What did you think of this?
Well, they're definitely going to run the football. Instead, Dan Mullen opts to throw it. He looks for his tight end, pits to the sideline. It's broken up by Richard LeCount. Now, it looked like there was PI. Dan Mullen certainly wanted it. There would be no penalty, and they would turn the ball over on downs. Didn't love the call.
Yeah, either way, dicey call there by Mullen. Second quarter, Georgia up 3-0. Jake Fromm to the sidelines to Lawrence Cager. What a great catch.
Yeah, this one, we have to take
think.
another look at this one. This one, I believe, hits the ground, but they do give him a catch. First and goal, Georgia with the ball. Florida defense got to stand up. Just make a play.
And we were watching it. Mullen's watching. Like, well, wait a second. What don't you see? So 3 plays later, 3rd and goal. Dominic played.
Yeah, a big theme in this game. Jake Fromm being really good on 3rd down.
So 4th quarter, Florida down 16-3. Georgia said after the game they think they're one of the best 3rd down teams in the country. They showed it today. Trask avoids pressure, throws it to the end zone. Van Jefferson, 23-yarder.
And at 16-3, it really felt like Georgia was dominating this game. Florida couldn't get things going, couldn't get to the end zone, and then Trask makes a play, throws it up. Now let's take a look. It's in the end zone. All of a sudden, we have a 16-10 game. Florida has a shot.
Great graphic.
They spent some time reviewing it. It stood, ensuing Georgia possession. This was really a backbreaker to Cage.
Yeah, it was a slow developing play. There's the Miami transfer, Lawrence Cager, kind of running the cross-field wheel route. Florida's defense completely loses him. And you see it right here. Sean Davis, he bites on the play fake, so he turns his head to recover and get back in the zone. He never sees Cager on the wheel route. 7 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown for Cager, who has just recently missed time with an injury.
Both career highs for Cager, a big one for them. Ensuing Florida possession, Trask a quick throw to Trayvon Grimes, gets the first down, keeps the change moving. Next play, Trask to Freddie Swain.
And we've seen Florida run this play over and over. They get a guy out in the flat, they get in the end zone. And again, Florida will not go away. This game isn't over.
But again, it was about Fromm on 3rd down, and here he was big to Eli Wolf.
Under pressure, beautiful loft on the throw. He finds the Tennessee transfer, Eli Wolf. You take a look at this again. Perfect pass just over the hands of Brad Stewart Jr.
And that's all they needed. Georgia's now won 3 straight against the Dogs. They get the win.
She's got a bunch of competitors, you know. I mean, we got a young receiving core, people trying to murder these kids, murder Jake Fromm. Look, our kids compete hard. Every chance they get, they come out and gotten better.
For us, I think it's just guys really starting to believe in kind of how good this football team can be. And I think it's just momentum for us, and hopefully we can finish this thing out.
We know what we can do. It's just a matter of just killing the outside noise, and everybody was doubting us, just staying as a brotherhood and as a team, and really just kicking all cylinders and having fun.
All right, so after the upset loss to South Carolina, sluggish performance the following week against Kentucky, not many people kept Georgia in a race for the playoff, but with their win, their chance to win the SEC East moved up 85%. Florida, their path is tougher after the loss. Here's Dan Mullen.
Unfortunately, we don't control our destiny anymore, which, is frustrating for us. But, we'll see. The adversity to me, your character is tested. This is when we see if we have character.
I have 100% belief that we're going to finish it the right way and, continue to get better each and every week. And there's still a lot to play for, and we still have a shot at this thing, but we can only control what we can control, and we have to do all we can do to, finish the season the right way.
So Kyle Trask on the losing end of that one. Jake Fromm would say after the game it was about taking the outside noise, keeping it inside the locker room, and prove people that we're still a playoff team. How did Jake Fromm do that?
Great bounce-back game, wasn't it, from Jake Fromm? He was criticized a lot for the way he'd played the last 2 weeks, and I think fairly so, rightfully so. But he was so good against a good Florida defense on the biggest downs. 10 of 13 on third down with 2 touchdown passes. He's got to give his offensive line a ton of credit because they gave him a lot of time and a clean pocket to throw. Here, 3rd and 11, Florida trying to blitz. Nobody even close to Jake Fromm. He's able to survey the field and find Robertson on the fork route. Here, 3rd and 3. Florida showing blitz. They're going to back out of it, but they're stunning and twisting guys up front. Another 3.2 seconds for Jake Fromm in a clean pocket with lanes to throw into to dissect the defense and find his target. And here was the touchdown pass we showed you earlier to Lawrence Cager. This is a very slow developing play. But look at the pocket. Grenard, Zuniga, all those guys are out in the field. No one even close. Over 4 seconds, he's able to find the Miami transfer for the score. So moving forward, this offense needs balance, right? We know about DeAndre Swift running the ball. We know about their offensive line. But if they're going to beat Auburn, if they're going to beat an Alabama or an LSU in the SEC title game, if they're going to reach the playoff, they have to be able to throw the football. Jake Fromm proved to everybody why nobody should doubt him. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
And they believed coming into this game they were one of the best third down teams in the country. Fromm and that offense showed it. They also believed defensively they had a couple of things to prove. What did they prove against that run offense for Florida?
And coming in, we know the last 14 times this game was played, whoever runs the ball better wins this game. And so we thought Grenard and Zuniga's coming back for this Florida defense, so they would be the show. But it was this defense of Georgia. They were nasty. Malik Herring unblocked here. Watch the speed, come across, makes the play. Georgia ran for 21 yards. Florida ran for 21 yards in this game, and it was the domination up front. You can see there's just nowhere to go for the running back. They push up the middle, and they cage him in. And because of their dominance up front, it just took all the pressure off of the offense of Georgia, let Jake Fromm have a more relaxed game. And then you will see Crowder, Daniel, other guys.
Swarming punish.
They were swarming. They were 3 or 4 guys to each time they were making a tackle. And this Georgia defense, if they play this way, and this is the way we expected this Georgia team to play, run it, Jake Fromm, be efficient, good defensive football team. Now they're getting back to look like the Georgia team that we all assumed would win the SEC East. If they play like this, it'll be interesting when they get to the SEC championship game, whether it's LSU, whether it's Alabama. It's going to be a great game if they can keep this going.
Both sides of the ball stepped up for the Georgia Bulldogs. That was the big one of the SEC. And a big day for the Pac-12 on Saturday in its own right, starting in the Coliseum. Oregon taking on USC. Under 3 minutes to go, second quarter, second and goal. Herbert hands it off to Jalen Red.
Jalen Red's the most explosive player on this Oregon offense. Great individual effort breaking a tackle. He ran a long way to go 2 yards for the score.
I need to remind you, Keaton Slovis is a true freshman because this kind of an uh-oh throw, and Brady Breeze takes advantage.
Yeah, Slovis had 3 interceptions in this game, and USC was up 10-0 on Oregon. Oregon scored 28 points in the second quarter.
21 points off Oregon turnovers, or 21 points off USC turnovers. They forced 3 in the first half. Oregon led 28-17. You said, Joe, it was USC early, then it flipped. How about Herbert dumping off the screen to Darian Felix? That not the story. Herbert on the ground.
Yeah, this goes for 25 yards, but take another look at this play. Kanai Mauga, he runs into Herbert's left knee while falling down. This would get called a personal foul. Herbert would be taken out of the game. He'd get evaluated on the sideline, but he would return.
Daniel LaRusso's gonna fight? Yeah, he is. Just 4 plays later, got some wax on, wax off, finds Jawan Johnson on the slant, runs for the touchdown.
Watch Herbert's feet. After the play fake, this is what makes him an NFL-ready quarterback. He gets his feet ready and delivers the ball downfield.
Oregon scores their second largest win against USC all time. USC allows 56 points, tied for second most allowed in the Coliseum. Here's Mario Cristobal.
Well, I think we've made a really big statement. If our team heard me talk in playoffs, they'd look at me like the three-headed monster because we don't talk about anything but 1-0. But we have a bye week, so I know this. We have put ourselves in a position where we need to be a very strong consideration in that discussion. But we need to keep doing it. We need to keep improving and keep getting better and just move forward.
Who was that?
Sweet, easy Eddie Ashcroft.
It sure was. So Oregon rushed for over 300 yards last week against Washington State. Who benefited the most? Justin Herbert. Perfect on play-action passes Saturday. Completed all 10 of his throws with 3 touchdowns. Herbert now has 11 touchdowns, 1 interception on play-action passes this season. So Oregon, Pac-12 playoff contender in the clubhouse with the win. How would Utah fare earlier in the day, taking on Washington in Seattle? Hostile environment. Jacob Eason, 100 runs.
Jacob Eason started this game hot, 10 of 13 with 2 touchdown passes. We've seen that from Washington this year. They jump all over you early in the game.
14-3 is the count of that, jumping all over. But then Utah, Tyler Huntley find their way back with Zach Moss.
Zach Moss only had 6 catches on the season coming into this game, so you're figuring we don't have to cover this guy out the backfield. Well, yes, you do, because he's a playmaker.
They're physical. Utah offensively, defensively. Third quarter now, Washington up 21-13. Has a chance to make a statement here, but then a pick 6 to Jalen Johnson.
This is what Utah's defense has done all season, guys. It's not just taking the football away. It's taking it away and then scoring their 4th defensive touchdown on the season.
And Joey, that really opened up the floodgates going into the 4th quarter. Here, Huntley to Jalen Dixon, 41 yards.
Yeah, Dixon only had 2 catches in this game for 72 yards. 34-yard average, so when he catches it, it's a big play.
All right, so same drive, 1st and goal. Huntley, play action, runs, gets to the corner of the end zone. He's got the both, the arm and the feet.
Huntley's making great decisions this year, completing over 70% of his balls. He's thrown only 1 interception. Nobody open. Go get it yourself.
And what about the physical running back, Moss?
Yeah, Moss gets 100 yards rushing this game, gives him his 16th for his career, which is a record at Utah.
33-28, Utah wins. They're on a bye before hosting UCLA. Kyle Whittingham, he knows this one was special.
I'd have to go back and look at them, but it's up there. It was very, very satisfying, especially in the circumstances. Coming up to their place, they're coming off a bye, and what are they, 900-0 after a bye, Coach Peterson? So now they're 901, I guess, after that. But just to battle and battle and battle and never relent and never give in, and just find a way. It was great.
All right, so the Pac-12's playoff chances were slim after early season losses by Oregon and Utah, but both have rebounded, and if each wins out and meet as one-loss teams in the conference title game with a chance to improve their resume for their committee. Remember, Oregon has not lost in conference. Their lone loss of the season was in the season opener to Auburn. So, gentlemen, I pose this to you for a playoff perspective. Who impresses you more and why out of the Pac-12?
I like Oregon right now. It is interesting because at the end of the season, if both these teams went out and they get to the Pac-12 championship game, it'll be a top 10 matchup. And so we know the teams at the top, Alabama, LSU have to play each other, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan's in that mix, all have to play one another. So there's going to be some losses coming up. If one of these teams can win the Pac-12 championship game and win it convincingly against a top 10 team, then the Pac-12 isn't out of this thing. There's going to need a little bit of help at the top.
I like Utah a lot right now, guys, and this weekend was a fantastic weekend for Utah because not only did they get an impressive win on the road at Washington, but USC lost. So now Utah's back in control of their own destiny in the Pac-12 South. I think they can beat Oregon if they match up in the Pac-12 title game. They're very talented. Outstanding defense. Defensive line, dominant, disruptive, led by Bradley and They got the best running back in the conference in Zach Moss. And while, again, Tyler Huntley's not the pro prospect Justin Herbert is, he's playing at such a high level right now, being very, very efficient in this offense. So if you're Utah, you just keep pulling for Oregon. You want Oregon to win out, be ranked as high as possible. If you match up in the Pac-12 title game, you get that win. That could backdoor Utah into the college football.
They have to do it convincingly, though.
I don't
think it can be a close game. Someone's going to have to do like Ohio State did to Wisconsin a few years ago. An eye test win that says that team deserves
But again, worth pointing out, Utah's lone loss this season in the Coliseum against USC. Oregon's lone loss, again, out of conference to Auburn. Plenty to play out, but Jess, I agree with you. They have to come in with one loss each.
It's a big-time game, and playmakers make plays. We were set up the way we set up all week. It was set up good, and I did what I was supposed to do, and it was a good feeling. We had little ups and downs. And, it was never the other team. It was always us. So this week we focused on us, and that's what we came out and did. We focused on us, and it turned out good.
Well, I bet Beale Street rocket from game day to this. Silky O'Sullivans have a cold one. Tigers have now won each of the last 6 meetings against the Mustangs, outscoring them by an average of over 30 points per game. For Memphis, it was also their first win over an AP top 15 opponent since 2015. Well, guys, why is Virginia Tech Notre Dame in the B block? Fighting Irish's last loss to an unranked team, 2016 They were 17-point favorites, and then Divine Diablo scoop and score.
Yeah, this play gets Virginia Tech back in this game. It really looked like Notre Dame was dominating. Virginia Tech 85 total yards in the first half, but turnovers always keep you in the game.
It was about to be 21-7 until it wasn't. It was tied at 14, and that was the longest fumble return against Notre Dame for a touchdown ever. So after 2 Hokie field goals, Irish trailed 20-14, under 3 minutes left. Here's where Ian Book took over.
Ian Book had thrown 2 early picks in this game, but this is where he really shone the game-winning drive. This would go 18 plays. You just saw the completion a few plays back on 4th and 3. Big-time throw.
So that to Avery Davis, then to Chase Claypool. I want you to have another look. Look at Claypool drag the right foot to stay in bounds.
He's 6'4". He used every inch of it to get one toe down.
He's Canadian, that's why.
That's hard to do. Claypool, 8 catches, 118 yards. Another big play there.
Canadian.
So 3rd down and goal, 35 seconds left. Ian Book. 53 pass attempts, a career high, close to 400 yards of total offense. 21-20 the final. What a finish at South Bend, and Brian Kelly. You got to love it. It was fun.
Well, that was a great character-building win for our football team. Proud of them. They endured a lot this week and had their character tested, and they responded.
Man, what a win. Ole Miss and Auburn. On paper, this one wasn't supposed to be close either. Ole Miss trailing 27, 1st and goal from the 1. Snoop Connor 1-yard touchdown.
Ole Miss had 167 rushing yards in this one. They were aided by the fact that Auburn was missing Marlon Davidson on the defensive line.
All right, so Gus Malzahn, minute 20 to play, same score, sends out Anders Carlson, 49 field goal attempt.
Yeah, and
that's good.
3rd miss of the day. And the announcers were wondering why he was kicking it. He already missed the 42 and the 49, and that's a tough one to drain.
How about the youngster John Rice Plumlee?
He's just exciting to watch with his speed, 3 straight 100-yard rushing games, and right here, big connection downfield to Braylon Sanders, but offensive hold.
Look at Matt Luke. I mean, to be fair, when they showed the replay, it's like, oh yeah, that was a tackle.
It was a hold.
Yeah, you can't do that. Plumlee scrambles on what would be the final play of the game.
And Plumlee was 11 for 20 at this point. 86 yards. We get a chance to go make a play here. Make a play, Matt. Throw it.
No. Rich Rod, the offensive coordinator, was up in the box calling the game. He was like, I don't know. Auburn hangs on to win. We do know that. What about East Carolina hosting Cincinnati? East Carolina has not beaten an AP-ranked team since 2014. You know Cincinnati's story. They got 1 loss in the season. It was Ohio State. Holton Ahlers, big game.
Lefty Ahlers, 535 passing yards, 4 TDs, and they took advantage of 2 early Cincinnati giveaways. They were up.
Ahlers, 535 passing yards. Helmet sticker implications with the win. Desmond Ridder drops back by Josiah DeGuara.
You just feel like this Cincinnati team is going to find a way to make plays. DeGuara, 2 catches, 76 yards, and a big touchdown.
But here comes Ahlers, but he's picked off by Ahmad Gardner.
One of the best defenses in the American Conference. They gave up 638 total yards, but this was the biggest play they made. Pick 6, and it would change the momentum.
All right, so guys, Ridder bringing him back. He would need this because they had to get into field goal range. How about this run?
And Ritter's done this all season long. Make the plays they need at the end of games to get them in scoring position, and then here comes the kicker. And Matt, you know.
Tell me we don't have a college kicker situation. Crosa. Oh, man.
Down the middle.
That's just picked your tee up after the tee shot. 46-43. Luke Fickell let out an exhale after Cincinnati escaped with the win. Speaking of escaping, we've escaped the bye weeks of both LSU, Alabama, Minnesota, and Penn State to set up big-time matchups in Week 11. Plus, it was Chuba and plenty of other running backs, A.J. Dillon and ETN. Quarterbacks get all the love. We're going to go on the ground. And William and Mary, inside the Tribe locker room, 5 overtime win at Elon. Congratulations to them.
To College Football Final. Presented by Mazda.
Now playing on ESPN. Monday, NFC East rivals clash. And on Tuesday, a huge college hoops doubleheader bracketing the season debut of the College Football Playoff Ranking Show. Watch live on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Big 12 action between TCU and Oklahoma State from Stillwater. And I tell you what, the Frogs got a full 4 quarters of one Chuba Hubbard.
Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada's finest. In a day that this offense knew that he was going to have to carry the load, right? They lose last year's Biletnikoff finalist Tylan Wallace to an ACL injury. They needed the young Canadian to carry the load, and he delivered.
Like, who's DJing the show? Oh, Canada back at it. 62 yards here.
Chuba Hubbard now leads FBS by 318 yards rushing.
Is that good?
Not bad.
I think that's good. On a day where the known Heisman candidates did not play, Chuba had the stage to himself, his 4th 200-yard rushing game of the season. That is the most by a Big 12 player since Ricky Williams in 98, the most since an Oklahoma State player since Barry Sanders
in 88. Were those guys good?
Well, both of them would go on to win the Heisman.
Oh, right.
In those seasons.
And not Canadian.
Has a Canadian ever won the Heisman?
Let me get back to a different anthem. Please. Boston College and Syracuse. A.J. Dillon, helmet stick implications for him.
Yeah, speaking of running the football, Boston College went for 496 yards in one game against Syracuse.
I don't want to spoil the entire C block, but there's a theme in this block with running backs. Dillon, 5 yards out. BC up big. And then just to cap it all off, Joey, he just had one.
Yeah, Dillon, 242 yards rushing in this game and 3 touchdowns. Passes J.K. Dobbins into number 2 spot in the country behind Chuba Hubbard.
Ooh, running backs aplenty. Oh, looky here. Clemson hosting Wofford. We're not going to talk about Trevor Lawrence. Why? This is a running back segment. Who? Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne goes for 212 yards, becomes the fastest Clemson running back ever to reach 1,000 yards. Did it in only 9 games.
And I'll tell you what, when this player finds a crease, you're not going to catch it.
Yeah, and this is another team that just rushed it for 400 yards. They had 702 total yards, and you figured they would against Wofford.
21-0 at this point, and then in the second quarter, they just continue to be a stat day for Etienne. This is his second longest career touchdown run, 86 yards.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is going to be the first pick of the 2021 NFL Draft. We're not even showing him in these highlights. How about the career Travis Etienne has had? He's the career leader at Clemson in rushing touchdowns. Fantastic job.
59-14, the beat down. And what got Etienne going? Well, apparently, he got a full dose of Dabo.
Yeah, usually when you have your foot in somebody's rear, that's not comfortable. So, yeah, he didn't like that. You know, most everybody likes a little sugar, but he needed it. You know, sometimes great players need to be challenged, and great players respond.
All right, so through that North Carolina game, Etienne was having a nice season, averaging nearly 7 yards a carry. Since his coach lit a fire under him, he's been downright unstoppable. 10 rushes of at least 20 yards, including 6 touchdowns, as he set the school's career rushing touchdown mark on Saturday. Time now to see who you believe could be in the college football playoff with our Capital One fan vote. Big week in college football. First playoff committee rankings are coming out. These are your guys' rankings. You do this each and every week. Now, all 5 of your teams are the same. And because of it, we're going to pick a couple of these teams and break down matchups they have this coming week. Alabama, LSU, 2 and 3 on your board. Joey, start us off with that game and who you're going to be looking at for Alabama.
Well, of course, we want to see if Tua's healthy. They had a bye week, which they needed. He went out in their last game. And he's been absolutely outstanding, completing 75% of his balls. And he just makes their offense different. But interestingly enough, the last time he's in a big game was against Clemson in the championship game. And he didn't play so well. So he's coming into this LSU game a little banged up, the same way he was at the end of last season. Now, can he manage that and get back on track and get this Alabama offense rolling the way they have? This could be a high-scoring game. Looking forward to it.
And I know we're going to talk about Tua versus Joe Burrow in this one, and Jerry Jeudy and Alabama's receivers versus Justin Jefferson and LSU's receivers. But I think the game is going to be won and lost, guys, in the trenches. And what I love about LSU's offense this year, very balanced. If you've watched Clyde Edwards-Helaire run the ball at running back, he's been sensational. Tremendous vision. He's got speed. He can make people miss. And when defenses have decided to play big, soft zones against Joe Burrow this year, it's been number 22 that have hurt defenses on the ground. Over 100 rushing yards in both games against 2 good defenses in Florida and Auburn. So I think Alabama's defense is going to have a lot of pressure on them, not just in the back end, weekend having to defend Joe Brady's new passing attack, but I think their ability to run the football as well. Alabama, they've struggled at times, a lot of inexperience.
Couple things in common. You both have Alabama 3rd in your rankings. You both have Penn State 5th in your respective rankings. Big matchup with Minnesota coming this week. That's a noon game on ABC. Take me inside that matchup with the Penn State quarterback.
And also, Penn State could make an argument to be a little higher, going on the road, beating Iowa, beating Michigan State, and beating a Michigan team that is playing much better football right now. But Sean Clifford's been fun to watch this season, the way he's grown. And if I'm Minnesota, I don't play man-to-man. I don't blitz this kid. He's 15 touchdowns, 0 interceptions when teams have blitzed him. It allows KJ Hamler, it allows Freiermuth to get out and make plays. And Sean Clifford has made this offense different. The only thing I want to see with this kid is he hadn't been in big situations to begin the season. But now he has. He took over Trace McSorley, and they've continued to roll. And if this Penn State team keeps winning, the matchup with Ohio State in a few weeks is going to be fun to watch.
Sean Clifford's going up against yet another good defense in Minnesota in this matchup. So row the boat.
Yeah.
We got Clifford on one side. I've been really impressed with Tanner Morgan and how he's played quarterback for Minnesota this year. He's made some really good decisions. 18 touchdown passes versus only 4 interceptions. Now, listen, Minnesota's offense is about running the football. They run zone. They have run-pass options. And it's ultimately Morgan's job when you present him with one-on-one opportunities outside to find Johnson and Bateman for big plays downfield. But going up against that ferocious pass rush of Penn State, I think Tanner Morgan's going to need to be more than just a game manager. He's going to have to find a way to make some plays. Easily the biggest test and the best defense he's seen this year.
Here's what I love about this board and the rankings, with all due respect to who's on there right now. These two teams are going to play. That's going to settle itself out. These two teams are going to play. That's going to settle itself out.
Here's the best part. The winner of LSU Alabama still won't be Joey's number 1 team after next week.
And Clemson might be the only one. Yeah, we're doing it based on last year. But as always, it's up to you to get in on the fun as well. You look at it next week's slate, the Capital One fan vote. Remember to go to twitter.com/SportsCenter to vote on Monday in what is a remarkable week of games. Let's check in on Army and Air Force from Saturday. Third quarter, Army trailing 10-6. 1st and 10 at their 13-yard line, and Jabari Laws finds Camden Harrison 87 yards.
This is triple option football, right? Jabari Laws, the new quarterback now, he's playing, and he went 9 of 11 for 214 passing yards for the Black Knight.
That's it. Just, you know what? Open the thing up. Early in the fourth quarter, Air Force second to go. Joshua Stoner takes the toss and the option.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. To running game, Palmer. Air Force ran the ball for 328 yards, as Stoner had 59 of those.
All right, so Army trailing 17-13, a minute 15 left, 1st and 15, 44-yard line. Laws hooks up with Brandon Walters.
Nice job working through his progression. You take another look at this. Jordan Jackson makes a hard hit to Laws' head on the play. Jackson would ultimately be ejected for targeting.
And that would be big. Later in the drive, Kelvin Hopkins Jr. would have to finish for Army. 4th and goal from the 5, back of the end zone, incomplete.
Yeah, they don't throw it many times, and a lot of times you give them a position they have to throw. Defense has the advantage.
Give Army credit. They fought hard in this one. Air Force wins 17-13. Hey, what about if Drew Brees comes to give the pep talk to his alma mater? You think that worked? We'll check in on the Boilermakers and Cornhuskers coming up. Plus, what used to be the game, Miami FSU. It was good for one of the teams from Florida. That and more in College Football Final.
Ranking Show, Tuesday at 9 on ESPN, presented by Allstate.
We had virtual lock implications in the battle between Kansas State and Kansas. Skylar Thompson is playing really good of late. Keeps the ball in the option play here for 34 yards.
4 touchdowns last week against Oklahoma, and that upset. And then he comes in running the ball once again. If I'm defense, I'm putting 8 guys in the box just to stop him.
Well, apparently we have miles to go before that happens.
Yeah, it's the Governor's Cup, though. This is a trophy game, so you know they're going to get that +1 advantage with the QB runs.
Now in the second, Thompson again takes the draw. 18 yards and a first down. See it again. Finished the first half with more rushing yards than Kansas had total yards.
And Thompson had 17 carries, 127 yards, and 3 touchdowns in this game. Makes the guy miss right here. And honestly, I don't know who's going to stop this guy from running football.
I mean, he makes this Kansas State offense go.
He really does, and it was impressive. No emotional letdown after their win against Oklahoma last week, and no look ahead to their next game on the road at Texas.
So Kansas State has now beaten Kansas 11 straight times, 38-10, the final. NC State and Wake Forest. I'll tell you what, watch out for Jamie Newman because he showed out today. Finds a lane. Not only can he throw, he runs a design run 20 yards for the score.
And it's a great play call because he's thrown the ball so well in this game, but a designed quarterback run, he ran for 2 touchdowns in this game.
On the ensuing kickoff, Keon Lassane takes it, but he's hit by DeAndre Delaney. Ball pops out, Wake Forest recovers, and they take advantage. And this is when it just all gets out of hand for NC State. After one play, 2nd and goal from the 5. Play action gets NC State's defense to bite, and Newman finds Jack Frudenthal for the 5.
Yeah, and you know in the system they have that long delayed ride on those zone read plays. Well, this is more of just a play fake. Nice job of acting there by Jamie Newman. Remember, he had that shoulder injury a few weeks ago against Florida State back in the lineup. He really sparked this off.
And again, they do it again. The defense again sucks up. Again, Frudenthal open.
Frudenthal had 4 catches, 3 of them for touchdowns. All he does is score touchdowns.
I'm telling you, watch out for Wake. They've got Clemson in a couple weeks. 44-10 the final. A big offensive day for the Demon Deacons. Michigan feeling themselves after the Notre Dame beat down. They got Maryland on homecoming. If this isn't a good start, I don't know what is. Giles Jackson, 5th longest kick return in Michigan history.
So you mentioned that 31-point win against Notre Dame, and all of a sudden a team playing very confident. Not a great effort by the kicker, but how about the true freshman Giles Jackson getting Michigan on the board first play of the game?
All right, so after 2 3-and-outs, Michigan faced on a 4th and 1 from their own 27. Michigan leading 14-0. The fake punt, why not?
Yeah, you're on your own 27-yard line. This is playing with a lot of confidence. They're thinking, really, schedule us for homecoming?
Right.
Take this, Maryland.
You're going to do that, and we're going to fake punt it, then we're going to find Shea Patterson and Nico Collins.
How about Shea Patterson now? 2 straight games without having thrown a pick.
And then 2 plays later, Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet's got this running game going at a good clip.
Yeah, 3 straight games. He's rushed for 2 touchdowns, and he's really helped this offense, taking the pressure off of Shea Patterson.
11th rushing touchdown of the season, the most by freshman in Michigan history, and that's saying something. 38-7 the final. Purdue and Nebraska. How about future Hall of Famer Drew Brees giving a pregame
Every
speech?
season is full of defining moments, and you never know when those defining moments will happen. So I would say, why not today? Why can't today be one of those defining moments?
So let's see if Purdue could have their defining moment. Down 20-17, King DeRoe takes it in.
This is a team we know has been beat up. They lost their starting quarterback Sindelar early, and their backup Jack Plummer in this game, he got hurt and was forced to leave.
So now down 3, David Bell reverse ball game.
And maybe as importantly, Rondale Moore, the biggest playmaker in the Big Ten, is out. But they find a way to get this big play reverse in the end zone for the big win.
Drew Brees has that swagger for Purdue as we celebrate CFB 150 with the best to wear the respective number. We've counted down from 15. We'll go to 1. This week we're on number 6. Jesse, who's your best to wear number 6?
I'm going throwback old school. Have you ever heard of a guy named Harry Kipke?
Sure.
Well, back in 1922, this guy was an All-American punter for Michigan, but he also threw the ball, he blocked, he carried it. Later would become a head coach at Michigan, won 2 national championships in 1932 and 1933. I'll be honest, I had no idea who he was until I Googled best to wear number 6, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his last name properly.
Let's
yeah,
go.
no
I'll
video.
give it to you, yeah.
No video. That's before video cameras started taping games.
That's right.
There.
And that's where the ball wasn't a spear or
I'm going with the bus. Nobody wants to get in front of the bus. He was 250 pounds, finished his career at Notre Dame, 2,000 yards, set the single-season scoring record as a sophomore with 20 total touchdowns, helped beat Florida, number 3 in the country, 150 yards, 3 TDs in the second half of that game before he went on to be in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Big Bettis. You know what? I'm recency bias here, but Baker Mayfield, here's what I love about his career. He was a walk-on twice at Texas Tech, at Oklahoma. All he did was win the Heisman, and by the time he left school, was the 7th leading passer in major college football history. Not bad for a walk-on quarterback. Look at our list for number 5 next week. Do you guys want to call dibs on anyone now, or do you want to wait?
I'll take Reggie Bush right now.
I'll take dibs on Tomlinson. LT at TCU.
This is now a fantasy draft? Okay, I'll wait and give the suspense to the beautiful viewers. There's no suspense about what's going on with virtual locks right now. Joey and Jesse are steamrolling the spread. In fact, by next week, it'll be called Los Locks. Not Las Vegas, Los Locks. Los Palmer, Los Galloway, Moss Money coming up on College Football Final. When Miami, Florida State was it was the game. And before the game, have a look at this. Cameron Harris was stretching in Florida State's end zone. Florida State guard Dante Lucas took exception to him being there. Harris was escorted out of the end zone to the other side of the field.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what your records are in these rivalries.
I remember when this game meant something, at least in the record. It still means something between the two, Jaron Williams and Jeff Thomas.
It's been musical chairs at quarterback for Miami, but Jaron Williams, a career-high 313 yards passing in this game.
Yeah, remember he lost his starting job, came back, he's played well. Williams play action. It's D. Wiggins.
And the redshirt freshman showing you why he was tabbed as the starter at the start of the year, because he throws very accurate deep ball.
You know, Miami feeling good. They've won now 3 straight over Florida State. James Blackman hit as he throws. Kervin Hall returned to 26 yards. You know what he got it.
Yeah,
right?
Florida State not feeling so good. Only 200 yards total offense in this game, but can we find, where's the chain at?
No, we've seen enough of the chain. We'll see it coming up. We'll see it coming up. 9 sacks for the day. Miami wins 27-10. Little hurry up for the virtual locks, gentlemen. Pittsburgh taking on Georgia Tech. Virtual lock implications for Jess. 61-yard touchdown, Vincent Davis.
Vincent Davis doing a nice job out of the Wildcat formation. Pitt ran the ball well, 158 yards in the game.
Admit, were you sweating when Tech's James Graham finds Amarian Brown for 51 yards?
No, I was pretty good.
Like sweating?
No, I was good. Listen, I knew Georgia Tech could come off a win against Miami. They had a bye week to get ready for this. They were still alive in the ACC Coastal.
You say no sweat. I believe you. Kenny Pickett kind of closes the show here. Panthers win 20-10. That, friends, is a cover. What was the line you took?
7.5.
All right, cover in. All right, Joey's virtual lock implication. UAB, Tennessee, Ty Chandler from 11 yards out.
I was feeling pretty good in this game. The first possession by UAB, they threw an interception, and then the defense of Tennessee just kept things going with 4 turnovers.
Jawan Jennings takes it in. By feel good, do you mean you made us all watch this when it was still 30-0 because you were feeling so good? Is that what you mean?
Well, me and Jesse were having a good time. You didn't look so happy, but we were happy.
No one wanted to watch Tennessee UAB when it was 30-0.
We're all supposed to be, cheering for each other.
All right, so Indiana, well, I'll tell you in a minute. Indiana and Northwestern, virtual lock for Jesse. His final one number going in?
It was 11.
Okay, Stevie Scott to answer.
Yeah, because Indiana scores a lot, Northwestern does not score. Stevie Scott, 26 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Indiana wins big, and another cover at 34-3.
5 straight games scoring 30 points or more.
All right, so here's where we are with virtual locks. I don't want you to say that I'm not a teammate of you guys. You guys are 4-0 again, brilliant.
We need a big rain cloud over your head.
But what I did is this week I'm like, my boys are doing well, so I actually bet on the games that you did for virtual locks, so I made some money on the fellas. Virtual lock. Let's look at the records now. No,
get a commission.
You get confetti. 14-5, 13-6, 4-0 again. People, I'm telling you, if you're not laying virtual money on virtual locks, you're virtually losing.
Is 27-11 pretty good in betting?
Yeah, Joey, we need to start charging people.
Yeah.
You know what I like about you two? You handle success really well. What were you thinking? Eastern Michigan, Buffalo, Jake Julian. Oh.
Well, see, this is what he forgot was that there's instant replay.
He's thinking, take this away from me before someone else hits me. He gets to the bottom of the pile.
R1 button, circle button. It's looking good.
Throw it.
Are they using an Instagram filter on that field? Look at Isaiah Wilson. He's like 6'7", 500 pounds. Watch this flop. You know what? Yank a scholarship.
How about the guard? The guard next to him just looks at him, doesn't even help him up. He just looks at him like,
grab your knee
get
or
up.
something. Grab your ankle.
All right, Alex Hornibrook intercepted by Bubba Bolden, but he then celebrates with his teammates and he hurts himself. Watch.
He's so excited about getting
Here we go. Here comes the celebration.
Ouch.
No.
That looks like...
Oh, I don't want to see it.
This is why we're 4-4.
What happened at Collinsworth here?
But then look, it doesn't stop with the turnover chain. All right, so how fun was Saturday? Mason Fine, North Texas. He chucked himself 7 touchdowns, 332 yards, as Colin Kennedy reminded us with the stat that he's allowed to show up at a post-game press conference with a dinosaur costume. Right? I mean, that's the best way to dodge
that's what you do when you throw 7 tutties.
From the media. From the media. Typically, Fine's performance would earn him a helmet sticker. Did it? We have a nice list. Some would say we have a fine list. 2 swingers will be there for the college football playoff rankings, but college basketball taking center stage. Pac-12, Colorado traveling to LA to take on Chip Kelly, who, by the way, if UCLA wins out, They play in the Pac-12 championship at 3-5. DTR, a big one.
Yeah, and since he's been back in the lineup from his injury, this offense is rolling. Here he finds Devin Asiasi for the touchdown.
And then he fires deep to the end zone. Ethan Fernea, touchdown.
And I'm telling you, UCLA is playing a lot better. They get a bye week after this, and then they go to Utah. They got a chance to make some noise, Barry.
How about our fella here with the catch? Have another look. Scully or walk-on?
Walk-on.
On the team.
What's the numbers?
Josh Kelly. Big reason why.
He's been great. 3 straight 100-yard games. Who wants to play Chip Kelly right now?
No one. 31-14 to final 4-2 in Pac-12 play. Top plays from Saturday. Central Michigan, Northern Illinois. Quentin Dormady fires a pass over the middle to Khalil Pimpleton.
Just remember Quentin Dormady. He played at Tennessee, played at Houston. Now he's at Central Michigan.
Guys,
he just fits this one in.
You're bearing the lead. This dude's last name was Pimpleton.
Okay, well.
So many ways to go with that. Tennessee State taking on Southeast Missouri State. Cameron Rosendahl floats a pass to Stephen Newbold. One hand.
Yeah, we got to get a one-hand catch in there. Leans back, snatch it one hand, pull it in one hand. The DB thought he had interception.
Lean
he thought
back.
Missouri had that.
Dixie State, Colorado Mesa. Colorado Mesa quarterback Hayden Bollinger throws a deep pass to Cajun Smith Begrovich. Intercepts the ball
with his feet and then kicks it using the feet.
No, that's not true. With the feet?
Yeah, he kicks it back in.
Oh my goodness, he threw it with his feet.
Can we review that?
No, we can't.
No.
Because I've got to get
anything
to
with your
stickers in the interest of time. We got a minute to go. Bang through them, starting with Joe.
I'm going Xavier Smith, FAMU. 184 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. The 4 touchdowns is a record at FAMU as they beat Delaware State.
Liberty quarterback Buckshot Calvert should get a helmet sticker just for being named Buckshot. But he's also pretty good at football. 474 passing yards, 4 touchdowns as the Flames beat UMass.
A.J. Dillon, Boston College, 242 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, set a BC career rushing touchdown mark on Saturday. Big game for A.J. Dillon.
I would like to be able to remember this, but I can't. Chris Mogg from the Engineers defeated WPI 28-22 in the Brain Bowl. Ooh. MIT earned his first win of WPI since 1900.
Wow.
It's only been 9 years.
Texas A&M beat UTSA. Isaiah Spiller at running back. He goes for 217 yards, 3 touchdowns. Great game by the young, true freshman.
You saw Antonio Gibson of Memphis, 386 all-purpose yards, single-season Memphis record, single-game record. Big win for Memphis. Gibson gets the helmet sticker.
I'm naming my kid Buckshot.
Hello, November.